I know James Brenner is facing charges for what happened to Dylan Rounds, but Don Hadley is still on my radar. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Before I get into the very small Dylan Rounds update, I want to address a video that I just deleted and in a community post that I posted after I deleted it. I posted something yesterday about someone named Emma Bailey because there's a lot of people apparently thinking that she could be the female DoorDash driver in the Idaho 4 case. The body cam footage that's going around from her DUI arrest in February, the police officer tells her that her license is suspended and removed from her possession as of that night. So for everyone that was stating that she could be the DoorDash driver, it didn't make any sense to me because we've been being told that the DoorDash driver quit dashing but had recently started back dashing again. And to me, if your license was taken away from you in February, you would have to go through a couple of different court things in order to get that back. But that was in February. That's not her having a reason to stop dashing after the incident. Now, in these comments on this video, there was a lot of people that felt pretty strongly as if Emma Bailey is connected to what happened in this Idaho 4 case because they claim there's proof that Emma Bailey knew all 6 of the residents at King Road. I don't know if any of that is true, but as you guys know, I am not against channel name dropping on this channel. So if there are any legitimate channels that are talking about this and have facts with it that I can trust to take a little bit of information from before then doing my own research, I would appreciate you dropping the name in the comments. And honestly, we also do not know the date of the recordings from either JLR's conversation or this secondary conversation that was apparently sent to him that verified the fact that the DoorDash driver picked up the order from Jack in the Box. I'm still not even really convinced that it was Jack in the Box because of how disgustingly old and decrepit the bag and the half-drinking crusty Starbucks cup next to it looked in that photo that's going around. So we're really just kind of going off of nothing here, but isn't that what YouTube is for? Now, Emma Bailey is in jail. She is in custody. She is in custody along with her 30-something-year-old drug-dealing boyfriend, and mind you, Emma Bailey's like 21 or 22 years old, so this guy is about 14 years her senior, if I read those numbers correctly. But they've both been sitting in jail since about mid-March, March 21st or 22nd, I believe. And it's because someone died of a fentanyl overdose. And now her and her drug-dealing boyfriend are facing charges for this person's death. And again, this was just in the middle of March. So I guess it's a possibility that it could be a possibility that she could be the DoorDash driver. I just honestly don't know enough to actually validate that yet. But I guess we'll see what comes of this new little line of research, shall we? Now, for what most of you are actually here for, the Dylan Rounds update. Momma Candice recently did an interview on No Thanks Investigates, and if you guys do not know that channel, I don't watch his channel too much, but he has a very close relationship with Dylan's family. So anytime there's a major update or even a small update, Candice will do a live interview with Doug from No Thanks and give everyone all of the updates. But these updates are also posted on the official Dylan Rounds Facebook page. And honestly, with the way that entire case has gone, unless Momma Candice tells you about it, you really don't want to listen to it because there has been some wackadoodle stuff happen in the Dylan Rounds case, okay? I'm just glad that we're finally getting to a point to where a lot of this family's hard work is paying off. Now, granted, they have not found Dylan's body. And apparently there's been rumors that it has actually happened. But she states no. And I think Momma Candice would know if her son's body had been found, would she not? Now, they have been checking around Lucin some more, and apparently the wash is just so big. They've looked at some of it, but there's still a lot more left to look at. But so far, they haven't actually found anything. Now, James Brenner had an arraignment date last Monday, so not this Monday that just passed this week, but the Monday before. And apparently, I have a feeling that James Brenner is going to find a conflict with his attorney, no matter who the attorney is, because I swear this is the second time in this situation that he has had some sort of conflict with his lawyer and then had to get a new one. So instead of coming into court on Monday and pleading guilty or not guilty and getting the ball rolling, he instead was assigned a new attorney because he's got a conflict with his. So it was actually just a big waste of Dylan's family's time. One thing that is really unfair here is that apparently the death penalty for James Brenner has been completely taken off the table because Dylan was 19 and he was not a minor. Therefore, the parents do not actually have a say in the type of punishment that could happen here. And we see that in the Idaho 4 case, do we not? We've seen the parents state that, yes, they want the death penalty. And honestly, if Brian Kohberger is found guilty, or whoever is found guilty of this, it'll most likely be death by firing squad, which will be terrifying. I don't find that very fair. But Momma Candice states that the prosecution is keeping them very much in the loop and seems to very much care about their thoughts and opinions on it, even though in the courtroom it doesn't even really matter. Apparently they're still having issues with this YouTube channel. Apparently, and I don't know the facts on this, I'm just going based off what Candace is stating, this group of people is claiming to be out there in the area looking for Dylan, and apparently wanted some sort of dog to help them track this situation. And a bunch of their viewers donated a whole bunch of money for said dog to be bought, and no dog has been bought. Not only that, but they throw out false claims constantly. They're traipsing all over what could possibly be a crime scene without even caring about the damage they're doing. The Rounds family has been trying to get rid of these people for a long time, and it's just really sad that after all this time and all these complaints, these people are still going against what the family wants, even with James Brenner in jail as the culprit. So I'm not really quite comprehending. If the family says get out, get the hell out. Now I am starting to see Candace's inflections about this next subject change a bit, which I'm glad to see, actually. Before, whenever it was brought up, if there was a possibility that someone helped James Brenner hide Dylan's body and Don Hadley was brought up, Candace kind of would just say no and think that it wasn't a possibility, really. But I'm thinking from the way that her response was whenever Doug asked her about this, I think her mind's changing a little. But I do not believe that Don Hadley's hands are clean. He's the one that did not call Grandma back. He went out after being called by Dylan's grandma to check on Dylan and never called Grandma back to tell her that Dylan's truck was there and it was locked and he wasn't at his camper for over 24 hours. It was the very next day that this information was relayed to Grandma. And from what I'm comprehending, I believe Grandma called him back to get the update. Don Hadley never called Grandma back. Not only that, but James Brenner has been telling everyone for a really long time that on the date that all of this actually happened to Dylan, later on in that afternoon, he went to Don Hadley's to eat ribs and have a barbecue. So honestly, I'm really wondering if canines have been out to Don Hadley's place. Smelt around the barbecue pit a little. I'm not trying to be gross. I just know how humans are. Now, besides this rib cook-off that the family is sort of hosting with another company kind of local to the area, that's going to be basically all the proceeds from this cook-off are going to go to the Canine Task Force, which has been greatly helping Dylan's family in this search. So besides that little cook-off thing happening and the fact that the next court date for this whole situation is June the 5th, that's really all the updates there is. I am just honestly anxiously awaiting the day that they find Dylan's body. This family has been in fight mode, literally, since the second that Dylan was reported missing. And they haven't had the chance to grieve. And I couldn't imagine being in those footsteps to where you have to stand so strong that even whenever your emotions as a mother are so overwhelming that you cannot control them anymore and you break down and you start crying, you still do not feel like you have the right to. That you stop yourself and you suck it up and you keep going because it's not time yet. I couldn't imagine that. But that is it for the Dylan Rounds updates. I will post another video as soon as we have some more confirmed updates on this situation. See y'all.